Movie plot twists are the cheapest, most effective way of getting a reaction out of an audience. Just ask M. Night Shyamalan. They can cover a multitude of sins, turning bad movies into good experiences and basically being the equivalent of covering something horribly burnt with sugar and just saying, fuck it, that'll do. For examples of those, just check our list, 10 awesome plot twists that totally save terrible movies. But it works the other way around too. Sometimes directors can get to their third acts having completely gripped the audience, only to throw a curveball so hard you're literally left wondering what on earth you've done to deserve it. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 awful plot twists that completely ruined great movies. Number 10, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Don't leave! Don't leave. Now, you may not think that Crystal Skull is a great movie because you're racist against grandpas, but there's a lot to Indy 4 that worked. Exploring tombs, battering henchmen of an oppressive government, the diner scene. It feels like a Spielberg film. It's warm and funny and exciting. Sure, there are weird things that don't quite work, like the fridge and the gophers, but they don't kill the film. That's the job of the aliens. Sorry, interdimensional beings, actually. Scooby and the gang reach Akator, where it turns out the skull belongs to a weird council of glass skeletons who've been sleeping because one of their friends' heads was gone, like they're a bunch of tree lights that only work if everyone's plugged in. Then the aliens wrap up the plot while Indy stands around looking old and confused, and it's really sad. It's a last-minute perspective shift that totally doesn't feel like it belongs in an indie film and totally rips you out of what could have been a triumphant return for Dr. Jones. Number 9, Source Code. Duncan Jones' high-concept sci-fi is rivetingly executed for the most part, but enters deep territory as soon as it disregards its own internal logic, which was already pretty shaky to begin with. After talking of a military incident, Stevens is revealed to be a barely conscious torso wired up to machines in a lab which allow him to time travel and basically be in quantum leap. Or do I mean quantum loop? Either or, so when Coulter's mission is complete and the machines, along with his life support, are shut down, his life should go the same way. Except it doesn't. Instead, Coulter gets to take over the life of another man and continue to live in an alternate reality with his consciousness somehow transferred over via magic? It's a nice idea, but it just doesn't quite work. It's a plainly nonsensical twist with no regard for the setup that the film itself provided. They should have just shut him down and had done with it. It would have been a sad ending, but you might have felt something. Number 8, Signs. In Signs, everyone's favourite comedy bigot Mel Gibson stars in a horror movie that doesn't rely on helpless women or idiots getting killed in increasingly claret-ridden ways. Gibson is great, but more importantly, it's genuinely scary, like this brief glimpse of an extraterrestrial visitor crashing a child's birthday party, pant-browningly chilling stuff. Unfortunately, after showing too much bad CGI, the writer-director then goes one step further and completely smashes any alien magic by killing them off in the most ridiculous way, by having Joaquin Phoenix spill water on them. Seriously, why would an alien race that has mastered interdimensional travel or interstellar travel or intergalactic travel, why would they come to a planet that is 70% water? Idiots. M. Night Shyamalan made the plot twist into a water cooler art form with The Sixth Sense, but this finale marks the exact point Shyamalan began his descent into being, well, a massive joke. Number 7, 3:10 to Yuma. After Ben Foster's Prince drops Christian Bale with a well-placed 5 bullets to the heart, Russell Crowe's Wade, up to that point a criminal in his company whose men, including Prince, are relentlessly pursuing to free him, changes all his beliefs in a split second, feeling so sorry for a man he's just met that he decides to kill his entire crew, including Prince, with whom he frequently shares lovers' glances throughout the film, before he boards the same prison train he's been furiously trying to escape for 2 hours since the next stop is a fatally sore neck. What? So Wade spent the entire movie trying to get back to the company of his buck-toothed crew, and now he's decided death row is really the way to go. In which case, why was he such a pain in the ass up until this point then, killing off Evan's fellow escorts with every opportunity he got? It's ridiculous. Number 6, Identity. Identity starts off as one of the better examples of the and then there were none subgenre. A bunch of folk trapped in a rainy motel with someone slowly and methodically bumping them off with some sort of gimmicks. An inherently satisfying structure bolstered by a strong cast, which makes it doubly annoying that the surprise plot twist is nutty stupid box. It turns out that all the characters are different personalities of the same serial killer, and the entire film is happening inside his own head. That is an out there twist, and you could imagine it maybe working in a different film, but all it does in this case is make you immediately not care about the well-being of any of the surviving characters because all of them are figments of someone else's imagination. Oh, and then the killer turns out to be a kid as well, to add an extra silly twist in there. Number 5, Sunshine. The plot of Danny Boyle's gorgeously stylized sci-fi odyssey is a bit silly, to be honest, but it's nothing on the twist that horribly derails the entire thing. Surprise, evil unhinged Pepperoni Man is back, except it isn't really a surprise. It's certainly not a welcome one, not when Danny Boyle suddenly turns a sci-fi ruminating on God and the meaning of life into a cheap slasher movie. The intelligence of its first two-thirds marks Sunshine out as one of Boyle's best, but that intelligence is swiftly shattered by unleashing a murderous, sun-baked doohickey on the crew of the Icarus II. It's really just a way of quickening up the kill count, ringing in a horribly misjudged tonal shift into horror gimmickry and juddering MTV-style camera work that clashes with all that came before. Also, it's barely even a twist since it's bloody signposted so clearly throughout the film. He makes constant appearances in archive footage, plus he's played by Mark Strong, one of the biggest names amongst the cast. Like, he's obvious he's going to turn up. Number 4, War of the Worlds. There is a widely held belief that due to its inexplicable amount of holes, War of the Worlds isn't a great film. But what modern blockbuster doesn't have plot holes? I mean, even the aliens dying of the sniffles is fine. What isn't fine, however, is that Ray and his daughter Rachel reach their destination and everyone is alive. Everyone else in the world has been getting killed really super easily, but these guys, their family, not only look alive, but really, really well, as though they've been on holiday to a planet that wasn't invaded by homicidal extraterrestrial gardeners. The very worst part is that Ray's emo son is still alive, despite running at the aliens unarmed during a firefight and a massive explosion. It's unnecessary, and the surprisingly dark tone of the film is ruined by the pleasant and entirely unbelievable sugary treat that all of Ray's family has survived an alien holocaust. Number 3, Kill List. Hot damn, Kill List is really, really good until the end. Ben Wheatley's nerve-shredding thriller about a hitman descending into a seedy world of cults and madness is tense, paranoid, and beautifully acted. Then the ending happens, leaving you wondering, what? No, but what seriously? Jay and his partner are instructed to kill a list of people. I get why it's called Kill List now. All the victims thank him, which is odd, and also there's a mysterious symbol. Then at the end, Jay is attacked by a cult that has been targeting him, maybe, and it forces him to kill his wife and son, who they dress as a hunchback, and then the film ends. What? I can understand that sometimes a film shouldn't give you all of the answers, but how about one of the answers? It plunges so deeply into insanity with events almost seemingly at random that it causes a frustrating disconnect. It doesn't generate the desire to debate what happened, it generates the feeling that they didn't know how to end the film and thought, sod it, that'll do. Number 2, The Mist. This may be a controversial entry because for some mad reason some people really like the final plot twist of The Mist, Frank Darabont's adaptation of Stephen King's novella. So The Mist descends upon a small town. It turns out that the fog is filled with oogity boogities, forcing people to barricade themselves inside a local store, where it slowly turns out that the real monsters is people. The film ends with Tom Jane escaping with his son, some old folk, and a nice lady. Their car runs out of juice, so Tom, rather than see his friends and family torn apart, makes a courageous decision to make it quick and shoot them all. Then, literally 2 minutes after he does that, the mist lifts. Gotcha! What the fuck is wrong with you, movie, you total sociopath? And number 1, Switchblade Romance, otherwise known as High Tension, otherwise known as Haute Tension, otherwise known as a film that's really scary until it totally shits itself with a plot twist that manages to be both cliched and so nonsense that it rewrites the entire movie that comes before it. So Marie watches a killer murder her friend Alex's family, then abscond with Alex herself. Marie gives chase, finally defeating the killer, and then it turns out Marie is the killer, and everything the audience has seen has been, I don't know, I guess a hallucination, but it doesn't make sense. At one point Marie's car is rammed off the road by the killer's truck, but she's the killer, so none of... How did she drive 2 cars? I don't know. Bullshit. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us about it in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon.